if you wanted to basically make all transportation electric, then the scale of the problem is about 100x growth from where we are today in terms of lithium-ion battery production. So just think about that number for a second. It's quite big, and it's just distributed among road transportation right now. It doesn't even touch on other forms of transportation. Next slide. And then similarly, if you then think about our primary energy use, whether it's the non-renewable portion of the grid, fossil fuels that we use for heating, natural gas, oil for heating our homes and factories, future growth in transportation, and general future growth as we start to consume more energy and as we do more things and we have more people on the planet. Turns out that this combined problem also needs 10 terawatt hours of energy storage per year. So that represents 1,600 times the growth, or where we are currently at. So stationary storage is huge for battery demand. In some ways, much bigger in application and space than transportation. Next slide. So to do this, you would need a lot of gigafactories to use that as a model or a unit. You would need about 135 gigafactories, a lot of capital, and a lot of people. So if we continue to do things the way we do right now, we can't scale fast enough. The current global supply chain is quite diffuse. It's going to spread all over the planet. Like this is an example of what it takes to make NCA cathode, say. Like ore comes from all over the place, from Africa, and then the processed ore gets to a certain place to make the actual powder. Then the cathode actually gets to the battery factory, which is in another continent. Now, if you think about all the atoms that are in place in your final product, and if you think about the cumulative miles that all those atoms have traveled to get there, that's a huge number. And if you were to minimize the number of cumulative miles, then you have achieved progress, because then you have driven down the energy consumption required to transport those materials and essentially the cost as well. So as you think about where to put your next factory or how to improve your process, try to take a step back, try to think of cumulative miles or that your material needs to travel. And it's not always about going to China or any other country to get the cheapest manufacturing. Like you're adding a lot of miles when you do that. And up front, the cost may be attractive, but in the longer run, it may not be. There may be a better way to do it.